Are you sitting comfortably? Let us begin.
Hey, welcome back, knife nerds and everyday care people. It's the Big Canucker here, and we've got ourselves, although not an unboxing and not a full review, but more of a surprise and a little bit of a what my opinion is of this knife getting in my hand. I've only had it for one day, and I gotta say, holy cow, she's a man, oh man. All right, let's just get this right out of the way real quick. If you like what you see here coming up, don't forget to subscribe and give me the thumbs up. We got to hit that 1,000 here pretty soon, and we've got a big gift coming at the end when we hit 1,000 subscribers, and we're getting so damn close. So don't forget to click that subscribe and click that notification button too as well, and then you'll be notified when I upload a new video. Now, though that's done, we're going to have a look at this. It is obviously a Spyderco product, and I absolutely love Spyderco products because I'm a Spyderco fanboy, and I'm not going to be afraid to admit that. So this here, I was actually, if many of you who are longtime subscribers, I did a video probably about a year ago, my top 10 grail knives, and these are knives that I wanted to put in my possession since I saw them because they blew me away, whether it was the look of them or what they did or what they were made out of, and I absolutely love the look of this one coming up. Now, I was just kind of searching around, and I think it was Metal, I can't remember exactly who it was, had a video of this knife, and I was like, oh my goodness, I did not even know this thing was coming out because, this one totally slipped past my radar, and I saw it, I pulled the trigger on it immediately, I scrambled to sell a whole bunch of knives because it is expensive, and so without further ado, let's have a look at this, and we will have a look here, and oh yeah. So now, many of you are looking at this side, and they're wondering, what is this? Well, designed by Shemp, it's got the big-ass blood groove, it's got a black-coated blade, and it's got a full titanium with a really, really short titanium Reeves integral lock. And you're wondering what and a great big oversized pivot. And you're thinking this is if you guessed, this is the DLT Spyderco Tough limited edition, limited run. Then you'd be right. Except, oh, look at that. I got this knife. And even from when I looked at this knife, I realized that color was not going to do it for me. I thought, hey, maybe that's a great tan color, or it's a great green color. It's good for, being camo or something like that. But I thought to myself, damn it, I need to put that in some red, and we need to make ourselves another DLT Deadpool edition is, I think, what I'm going to end up calling this. And I got to say, man, oh man, I ended up using flame red and with the green, the OD green, and it was almost like a kind of a gray, and it gave me this wine color, and I think I gotta say I'm pretty impressed with it. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks great, and I think this knife, right off the bat, I think it is, oh my goodness, I am blown away. Now, there have been knives that I have picked up, and there have been knives that I have said, well, I really, really want this knife, and then I get it, and I'm a little bit disappointed, or I'm like, well, maybe it just didn't live up to the hype in my own head, because you really, really, if you're excited for something, you build this thing up so high, and I gotta say, since I saw the original Spyderco Tough, I've wanted one, and I had the opportunity to buy an original Tough about a year ago, 10 months ago, and I ended up hesitating, and I had to buy. I ended up pulling the trigger on another Spyderco product, not a Sabotage. I think the original custom is called a Sabotage. Off the top, it's the orange handled one with the big rounded blade, and I just can't think of it off the top of my head, but I really, really like that, and I know that these two knives are going to go head to head. So, of course, this has got the. Now, I want to call it the diamond-like coating, but it is not. It is actually titanium nitrocarbide on here, and it is the one thing that I really, really like about this coating as compared to, say, the diamond-like coating is it's so thin that you can actually see the grind marks through it. And I did some research on this, and it's extremely wear-resistant, strong, corrosion-resistant covering. And the way they put it on, they can put it on that it's actually thousands, hundreds of thousands of an inch thick. Like, I mean, it is into the nanometers, I think is what it is. It's only a few, atoms thick, but I guess it is extremely strong, and it will not come off. Like, I mean, you can't just, scrape it off with a paper clip or anything like that. But eventually, it probably will wear. But I've done minimal cutting with this. I've said I only had it for a day, and I immediately went out and got myself some RIT dye, and I used the flame red synthetic RIT dye for this, and it seems like it did a really good job. I did a fairly strong mixture with no vinegar, just nothing but water, RIT dye, and on the stove boiling, and I put it in there for about 2 minutes 30 seconds, and this is the color that it gave me. And so far, I think it's been fantastic. Now, in with your knife, you're going to get yourself talking about the Crewwear, because there is a Crewwear blade. The original Spyderco Tough had a 4V, I do believe what it was, and it wasn't corrosion resistant as well. It was also had the opportunity to rust and corrode, so they put this coating on top of it. So that's just explaining what it is. And then, of course, you've got a history of the DLT, making this one-of line, one-of specific to DLT, and it talks about Ed Schemp, who was a competitive cutting person as well as knife designer. Also, it came with a couple of stickers, a DLT sticker. It came with a Spyderco, a little round Spyderco bug sticker. Both of those I've taken off and put them on my sharpening box. Those things... I guess somebody could pick up this knife. They could put it in their safe or their roll and not touch it and not use it. And maybe in 3, 4, 5 years, throw it on eBay and it'd be worth a lot of money. I think that is such a waste of some damn good steel. And now I am not going to take this and beat the hell out of it. But boy, oh boy, this is a well-built, tough knife. And it came extremely sharp. From the factory. That was another first impression I had. I thought, wow, this thing was incredibly sharp. I've taken it and I've stropped it on my Knives Plus strop block and a 1 micron diamond spray strop, and it is, I would dare say that this thing is hair whittling sharp. It's definitely hair shaving sharp. Not sure if you can see that, because I have got zero hair on my arms or my legs and none on my chest, but damn it, my wife likes it that way. She likes my smooth apple bum, is what she calls it. I sure hope I haven't scarred anybody out there. Just do not stop. Don't think of my apple bum whatsoever. Just don't think about it. Now all you're gonna be thinking about it is the apple bum. But really, really smooth. Of course, I haven't done really a whole lot of adjustment with this. I ended up just adding a little bit of oil to it. And I wonder about these knives when they come right from the factory, how much lubrication is in them, because I can hear a little bit of a rasp when I open it. And I believe that is your detent ball going along your detent path. And that's and it's not scraping, it's just making a little bit of whoosh, whoosh sound when I open up the knife. And I ended up putting some oil, on the detent path there, and it kind of went away. But I wonder if I kind of screwed myself there a little bit with trying to break the knife in. Did I just no? What? Yeah. Let's ask. Let's put a little bit of a question out there, a little bit of a poll. What do you think? Now, if you got a brand new knife and you've got, say, you can hear a little bit of rasping, and you know it's a detent path, do you just leave it alone, and that way it'll wear its little track and shine its track up in the detent path faster? Or do you put a little bit of oil in there or a little bit of lubricant, and it goes away and the knife is a little bit smoother, and it perhaps will take longer to get to that real super smooth hydraulic feel that a really well broken in knife does? Just let me know what you think. Should I or should I not have put some lubrication on this right from the right out of the box? And all right, so let's have a look here. Now, I have done some little bit of cutting with this, and this is one of the only knives I have that it's got that negative angle. So you can see here you've got a little bit of a, almost like a kukri designed knife, and it is a little bit weird, when you're first trying to cut some stuff, but within a few strokes of cuts, I was used to it already, and I thought it was fantastic. Now, the one thing I haven't been it's a little harder to get used to, is this big choil here. Now, when you have it choked up like this and you're cutting some stuff, that's no problem. But if I'm just doing a regular on the handle cut, I have a tendency sometimes of trying to cut, and I get my my choil caught up into it, right? Or if I'm stropping, especially if I'm stropping, I seem to really have stropped these corners quite a bit. It just takes a little bit to get used to, because it is a 3.7 inch long blade with a 3-inch cutting length. So very good EDC size still. A little bit bigger blade, a little smaller usable blade, but still 4 mil thick with this big groove in there. It is. And at 6.3 ounces, it's not a lightweight, but it doesn't seem like it's overly heavy. Like, I thought perhaps that it was going to maybe feel a little bulky, a little big, but no, not whatsoever. It carries beautifully in the pocket. The way it's designed, it's got that roundness where, when you put your hand in, nothing's going to snag up on your hand or scrape or anything like that. Now, it is, one big liner, stainless steel liner, and then a G10 peel ply on the one side with all your hardware blacked out, including your blade. And I wonder if the screws and the pivots here are also had the cubic boron nitride, I think is what I said. No, titanium carbonitride. I wonder if they've had that coating too as well. Now, of course, it's got a nice big lanyard hole, which I love because I love putting on a little bit of a lanyard. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, smooth as hell, and it is drop shut if you don't have your lock engaged. Like, it'll just drop like nothing. So that part is extremely smooth. Now, it will also flick open with just the weight of the blade. There, you can see how there was no thing there. Just there. It will flick open with just the weight of the blade. So be careful, because I was concerned that with this coming from DLT, in Canada here, we've got the Canadian border guards, and sometimes they can be a little bit stick-up-ish, and they've confiscated your knives if they say it's a gravity knife. If they can flick it open with just, the gravity, then they'll call it a gravity knife, even though it's extremely hard to do. They will still. So perhaps what you could do, if you happen to be a Canadian ordering this, and this is something that I haven't tested out, but I would like to, if I were to do this again, I would email DLT before I place the order, or anybody that you have, and I would get them to see if they could tighten the hell up out of the pivot. And so even though even though when the knife gets there, you won't hardly be able to open it until you loose up that pivot. Well, then that way, also, there's absolutely zero way that the border guy is going to be able to flick this knife open with gravity. So if they can do that for you, then I think then you'll have no problems. Although this was inspected by the border guard guys, because it came in a plastic bag with inspected by border control or whatever the heck it was, their little sticker. And I ended up getting a little bit of extra duty I had to pay on this too as well. So, damn duty. That's the 13-year-old me coming out, giggling at the word duty. Same thing with 69. I don't care how old you get. If you're a dude or a guy and you hear the word 69, if you don't giggle out loud, out a little bit, you giggle inside. So, and I do. 69. Okay, so we will be carrying this for a little bit. We've also got a few other things that we're going to be carrying, some secondary blades. I have what do I have here? I have a mini griptilian that's going to be going in the watch pocket there. That's coming up right away. I don't have that here with me. It's downstairs in my bedroom. And I've also got a Ontario Rat #1, I do believe, the great big one. I got one of those that's going to be in my pocket for a bit here too as well. All right, just to, now, even though this isn't a really in-depth review, it's just kind of an unboxing and a little bit of my first impressions, I just thought I'd show you guys how big this knife is. Here you've got a Spyderco Rescue And then you've got a ZT 0560. Thank you, Mr. Jonathan. We're going to be making a deal. This is going to be my home here permanently. I love this knife. And of course, we've got this. And we're going to be doing some head-to-head comparisons here, I think, down the road too as well between these two knives. Because damn it, they are very, very similar in size, and they're both well-built, overbuilt knives. And but this just gives you an idea of what is in store. So, thanks so much for stopping by, guys. I really, really appreciate it. And ladies, because I am having more and more ladies subscribe. Thank you so much. Anyway, so thanks so much for stopping by. Please stay safe out there, guys. Keep your stick on the ice, the shiny side up. This is the Big Canucker saying adios.